My sister demanded. "You're not coming to Cancun for Christmas." While my parents nodded along, so I kicked her and her husband out, ruined the family vacation, and watched them all lose their minds. Hey Reddit, not gonna waste time, just get your snacks fast and let's get into this shit show. I'm Adrian, 32 male, run my own management firm, own properties in 3 states, and generally have my act together. You'd think that would earn some basic respect from the people who raised me. But here's the thing about being the youngest and the most successful. Your family gets real comfortable assuming you'll always be there. That you don't need attention or consideration because you're doing fine. Then one day, when they cross the lines, you realize you've been letting them walk all over you for years. And that's exactly what happened before I did what I did. My sister Valeria dropped it on me like she was commenting on the weather. Right there at my kitchen. You're not coming to Cancun for Christmas. Not a question. A statement. Mom studied her mug like it had the secrets of the universe in it. Dad suddenly got real interested in something on his phone. And Ricky, my brother-in-law, leaned back in one of my bar stools with this grin that made me want to throw him out the window. We already locked everything in, Valeria continued. The beach house fits 8 people max, and with Ricky's parents flying in, there's just no space. You get it, right? I got it perfectly. But here's something you need to know. The beach house she was talking about? Mine. I bought the place in Playa del Carmen 3 years ago for $720,000. Then I turned it from decent into exceptional. Custom infinity pool overlooking the Caribbean. Outdoor kitchen with a built-in grill and pizza oven I'd spent 2 weekends installing. 5 bedrooms, restaurant-grade appliances, furniture I'd personally picked out from shops in Tulum and Merida. My family knew about it. I'd sent photos in the group chat. Mentioned it at dinners. Hell, I'd even shown Dad the closing documents when he visited last spring. Walked him through the numbers, the rental projections, the whole deal. He'd nodded along, said something about tax implications, then changed the subject to Valeria's latest job search. Mom had given me her standard, "That's nice, honey," without actually looking at anything. 3 months ago at Thanksgiving, I'd literally shown them a video tour on my phone. Valeria had glanced at it for 5 seconds before talking about her upcoming anniversary. The property had custom everything. Italian porcelain tile throughout. Smart home system I'd set up myself. Security cameras covering every angle. Rain shower heads in all 3 bathrooms. That outdoor kitchen wasn't just some basic setup. We're talking a $15,000 Wolf grill, a wood-fired pizza oven I'd tracked down from a craftsman in Guadalajara, a full wet bar with a built-in ice maker and wine fridge. Which beach house? I kept my voice level. Valeria waved her hand like she was swatting a fly. Someplace Ricky found online. 3 bedrooms, ocean view, the whole deal. His parents are pumped. They've never been to Mexico. Ricky jumped in, looking way too pleased with himself. Found it on Vacation Rentals Mexico. Killer deal for Christmas week. Owner wanted $7,000, but we talked them down. Something cold settled in my chest. What's the address? Why does that matter? Valeria's eyes narrowed. Look, I know you're disappointed, but we can do something for New Year's. Maybe you could fly out to Denver for a few days. Mom finally spoke up, her voice all small and careful. It'll be good for you, sweetie. You work too much anyway. A quiet Christmas might be exactly what you need. Dad nodded without looking up from his phone. Your mother's right. Family trips can get stressful. Better this way. Right. Stressful for them. The address, Valeria. She sighed and pulled out her phone. Fine. 482 Punta Caracol. Happy? My property. My house. The one where I'd personally waterproofed the entire deck because the contractor wanted to cut corners. I pulled up my property management app. There it was. Casa del Mar, booked December 22nd to 29th. Party of 8. Ricky Mendez. That's a sick house, I said carefully. I've seen the photos. Valeria perked up. Right? Ricky spent weeks finding it. The owners wanted $7,200 for the week, but we got them down to $4,680. Split 8 ways. Totally manageable. I'd listed it at $7,200. My property manager, Emilio, had authority to discount up to 35% for special circumstances. He probably thought this was a legitimate family booking. The house had been my passion project. Every detail was intentional, thought out, mine. And they'd found it online like it was any other rental. Talked down my rates. Planned their family Christmas there while excluding me from it. Smart negotiating, I said. How'd you manage that? Ricky practically puffed up. Told them we were bringing kids. Asked for a family discount. Said we'd take excellent care of the place and leave a 5-star review. The owner seemed cool with it. Kids. They didn't have kids. Valeria had been trying for 3 years, according to Mom's worried updates I never asked for. The owner. That was me. I was the owner who didn't know his own family was booking his property to exclude him from Christmas. When did you book this? 3 weeks ago, Valeria said. We wanted to tell you face to face instead of over the phone. Seemed more respectful. Respectful. Right. Ricky checked his watch. We should bounce. Long drive back to Denver, and I've got a conference call early tomorrow. Before you go, I said. Which site did you use exactly? He shrugged. Vacation Rentals Mexico. Maybe a couple others. Why? Just curious. Been thinking about booking a place there myself. Valeria rolled her eyes. Well, don't book this one. We want it to be our special spot. They left 15 minutes later. Mom hugged me briefly, whispering that I'd understand someday when I had my own family. Dad squeezed my shoulder and suggested I treat myself to a nice dinner with the money I'd saved by not going to Cancun. Their Uber pulled away, and I watched from the window until they disappeared. Then I called Emilio. What's up, boss man? Emilio answered on the second ring. He'd been my business partner for 5 years, handled property management across our portfolio. Pull up the Christmas booking for Casa del Mar. Keyboard clicks came through the line. Got it. Ricky Mendez. Party of 8, December 22nd to 29th. Already paid the deposit. Why? Something wrong. Cancel it. The silence went on long enough that I checked to make sure the call hadn't dropped. Cancel? Emilio finally said. Dude, they've already paid $4,680. That's money in hand, and it's too late to rebook that week. We're eating the loss. I'm using it myself. More silence. Emilio had never known me to stay at any of our properties during peak season. Peak season was when they made money. Oh, okay. Want me to send them the standard cancellation notice? No, forward me everything. Their booking inquiry, emails, all of it. I'll handle it. You got it. Anything else? Yeah. How'd they find us? More typing. Came through Vacation Rentals Mexico. Sent an inquiry. I quoted them the rate and availability. They booked same day. Seemed solid in the emails, actually. I bet they did. Process that cancellation. Thanks, Emilio. After we hung up, I opened my laptop. The booking confirmation was there. Ricky had used his work email, some mid-level position at a freight company based on the domain. The inquiry message was something else. Our family is so excited to experience your beautiful property. We promise to treat it with the utmost care. Looking forward to making wonderful memories there. The nerve on these people. I pulled up the full booking history. They'd requested specific things. Extra towels for the pool. Recommendations for restaurants within walking distance. Questions about the outdoor sound system. Ricky had even asked if the grill had a rotisserie attachment. It did. I'd added it specifically for slow roasting whole fish. Every question, every request, every detail they'd asked about. All my work, my money, my effort. I drafted an email. Dear Mr. Mendez, we regret to inform you that your booking at 482 Punta Caracol for December 22nd to 29th must be canceled due to owner occupancy. Your deposit has been refunded in full. We apologize for any inconvenience. Regards, Casa del Mar Property Management. My phone rang before I could send it. Valeria. Hey, so I forgot to mention, Ricky's mom has some dietary thing. Can you send her restaurant recommendations for wherever you end up for Christmas? She's super picky about... Gotta go, Valeria. Talk later. I hung up and sent the email. 4 days went by. Complete silence. I was slammed anyway. Year-end client reviews, portfolio rebalancing, the usual fourth quarter chaos. Valeria called twice, but I was legitimately busy. Mom texted some recipe for something I usually brought to Christmas dinner, apparently still assuming I'd make it despite not being invited. Dad forwarded me a Facebook meme about family being everything. On day 5, my phone exploded. 8 calls from Valeria in 90 minutes. Mom called. Dad called. Ricky called from a number I didn't recognize. The voicemails went from confused to pissed off to desperate. What do you mean the house is canceled? We had a contract. This is incredibly unprofessional. Do you know how impossible it is to find a place in Cancun for Christmas? Everything's booked solid. We're going to destroy you in reviews. Call me back immediately. I let them stew. Made myself some lunch. Went through my workout. Checked my investments. Looked through photos from my last trip to the house. My sanctuary. My reward for years of grinding. When I finally called back, I chose Ricky's number. Hello. His voice was tight, wound up. Hey, Ricky. Saw some missed calls. Your property manager canceled our booking. We fly out in 2 weeks and she's saying the owner needs the house. This is completely unacceptable. We had a binding contract. The contract included a clause about owner occupancy. Pretty standard for vacation rentals. So what are we supposed to do now? Everything else on the coast is either booked or triple the price. My parents already bought their flights. Non-refundable. That's rough. Rough? This destroys our entire Christmas. Valeria's been crying nonstop. Your mother is having a breakdown. My mother, I said slowly, watched her daughter exclude me from Christmas and said nothing. So forgive me if I'm not too worried about her emotional state right now. What? You need to help us fix this. He pushed forward, not really getting what I'd said. Find us another place. You must know people in Mexico. Have connections. I leaned back in my chair. There probably are places. Higher price point, obviously. Maybe not on the beach. I could make some calls. His relief came through the phone. Would you? I know we haven't always been cool, but family helps family, right? Absolutely. Family helps family. Quick question though, Ricky. Yeah, anything. Whose idea was it to book a place in Cancun without inviting me? The pause was perfect. That wasn't... Look, it wasn't personal. The house only fit 8 people, and with my parents, the numbers didn't work. Valeria felt bad about it. Valeria felt bad, I repeated. So bad that she came to my house to tell me I wasn't welcome. Interesting way to show you feel bad. You're making a big deal out of nothing. What's the address of the house you booked, Ricky? The one that got canceled. Why does that matter now? Humor me. He sighed hard. 482 Punta Caracol. Why? That's my house. The silence that followed was perfect. Your... what? My house. I bought it 3 years ago. Renovated it myself. That infinity pool in the photos? I designed it, hired the contractor, managed the installation, tested every jet personally. The outdoor pizza oven? I built that. Spent 2 entire weekends mixing mortar and setting stones. The custom furniture? I drove to Tulum and Merida to find local artisans. Paid for everything to be shipped. I let that sink in. That's my property, Ricky. The one where you're planning to have a family gathering without inviting me to my own family Christmas. We didn't know. You didn't. Because nobody bothered asking about my Cancun property before booking a Cancun vacation. The same property I've mentioned at probably 15 family dinners. The one I sent renovation photos of in the family group chat. The one Mom said, "Looks nice, dear," without bothering to actually look at her phone. Ricky's breathing came through audible now. Look, this is clearly a misunderstanding. Here's what's going to happen. I cut him off. I'm going to Cancun for Christmas. Staying in my house, alone. You're going to figure out your own accommodations, pay for them yourself, and never again assume you can use my stuff while treating me like I'm disposable. You can't do this. Your parents don't deserve to have their Christmas destroyed. Valeria is going to lose it. Valeria made her choice. You all did. I hung up before he could respond. Sat there for a minute, phone in hand. Then I did something that felt petty but necessary. I opened my calendar and blocked off Christmas week at Casa del Mar. Not just for this year, for the next 5 years. Marked it as owner occupancy across the board. That house was mine, my sanctuary. And from now on, only people who respected that got access. The phone immediately started ringing. I powered it down. The next morning, I called Emilio. So that cancellation, he said. Been getting some interesting emails. The booking party is threatening legal action, claiming we violated their contract, saying they're going to sue for damages, emotional distress, the whole 9 yards. Actually, I laughed. Let them try. Forward everything to legal. They've got nothing. There's more. They filed complaints with Vacation Rentals Mexico, trying to tank our listing rating. Called us frauds, scammers, unprofessional. The whole thing. Can we respond? Already did. Explained it was owner occupancy, cited the contract clause, showed we issued a full refund. Platform sided with us. Their complaints got flagged as retaliatory. Good. Anything else? Yeah. Your sister called the office. Demanded to speak to the owner. Janice told her we don't give out owner information. Your sister said, and I quote, "Tell my brother he's making the biggest mistake of his life." I grinned. She actually said that? Word for word. Janice was confused until I explained the situation. Then she offered to send your sister some very creative responses, but I told her to keep it professional. Appreciate that. What else? Your mom called too. Different approach. Crying, saying there must be some misunderstanding. Could the owner please reconsider because family is suffering? Played the whole guilt card. Let me guess. You told her the owner's decision is final. Exactly that. She asked if maybe we could at least give them a discount at one of our other properties. Perfect. I spent the next hour doing something petty, but satisfying. I updated the Casa del Mar listing with new photos. Professional shots I'd gotten done back in October, but hadn't uploaded yet. The infinity pool at sunset. The master suite with its ocean views. The outdoor kitchen mid-cookout with perfectly grilled lobster tails on the wolf grill. Every photo screamed luxury. Every angle showed exactly what they were missing. Then I boosted the listing to premium placement. Paid extra to have it featured on the site's homepage. Made sure anyone searching Cancun properties for Christmas would see my house front and center. Booked solid, unavailable, out of reach. Petty, absolutely. Satisfying? Even more so. 2 days later, an email landed in my inbox from Dad's account. The writing style screamed Valeria, though. Son, your mother and I are appalled by your behavior. Canceling a family vacation out of spite is cruel and immature. We raised you better than this. Valeria has been devastated. Ricky's parents are confused and hurt. It went on about how the house only fit 8 people, how Valeria needed this vacation, how I was destroying Christmas over hurt feelings. I read it twice. The phrase hurt feelings stuck out. I wrote back, Dad, the house sleeps 12 comfortably, 14 if people share rooms. Space was never the issue. I continued. Also, this email was obviously written by Valeria. If you want to actually talk to me, try calling yourself instead of having your daughter write your emails. I hit send. He called an hour later. Hello to you too, Dad. This isn't a joke. You're tearing apart this family over a rental property. Over my property. My investment being used to exclude me from family Christmas. His silence felt heavier than before. I thought you would work it out. Siblings have disagreements. This isn't a disagreement. This is you all deciding I'm not worth including. We can still salvage this. No, we can't. You all showed me exactly where I stand. Message received loud and clear. We didn't raise you to be vindictive. You raised me to respect myself. If that looks like vindictiveness to you, maybe look at what you did first. He hung up. The next week was chaos. They tried everything. Mom called crying. Valeria sent a 7-paragraph text about how I was destroying her marriage. Ricky's parents apparently called my parents, threatening to sue everyone. Valeria tried calling my office from different numbers. Janice started screening them all. On the 3rd attempt, Janice put her through to me. What? I answered. We found another house. It's $12,000 for the week. We can't afford that. Mom and Dad can't afford that. Ricky's parents definitely can't. You have to help us. No, I don't. There's a cancellation fee. The house we found requires a $3,000 non-refundable deposit just to hold it. We don't have $3,000 sitting around. Sounds like a you problem. Adrian, please? Nope, that's not fair. Nothing about this is fair. Figure it out yourself. I hung up. She tried calling back 6 more times. I blocked every number. The family group chat lit up without me in it. I could see the notification count climbing, but refused to open it. Through Emilio, I learned they were spreading stories, telling people I was mentally unstable, that I'd always been the difficult child, that I was having some kind of breakdown and being unreasonable. A week before Christmas, Valeria tried a different angle. She showed up at my office. Janice buzzed me. Your sister's in the lobby. Says it's an emergency. Tell her I'm in a meeting. She says she'll wait. I sighed. Fine. Conference room B, 5 minutes. I made her wait 20. When I walked in, she looked rough. She'd been crying recently based on the redness. I sat down across from her. Said nothing. Look, I know you're angry. I leaned back. I'm not angry, Valeria. I'm done. Please. We're desperate. We can't find anywhere to stay. Everything's either booked or insanely expensive. We've called 30 places. Hotels, rentals, everything. Ricky's parents are talking about canceling their flights. Mom won't stop crying. Dad's barely speaking to anyone. Sounds stressful. Her face twisted. You're enjoying this. I'm observing it. Big difference. Can we use the house? We'll pay full price. We'll pay more than full price. Name your number. I studied her face, looking for any sign of genuine remorse. Nothing. Just desperation and entitlement. My number is infinity. You can't afford it. Adrian, please, I'm your sister. My sister who excluded me from Christmas. My sister who's only here now because she's desperate, not because she's sorry. I am sorry. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught, but you're not sorry for what you did. Big difference. Her face hardened. Then she stood up fast. You know what? Fine. Enjoy your house alone. Enjoy being the petty, vindictive little brother who can't get over himself. See if I ever speak to you again. Promise? She walked out. Slammed the door hard enough that the frame rattled. Janice poked her head in a minute later. You okay? Never better. Your family sounds exhausting. You have no idea. I flew out December 21st. First class because why not? Landed in Cancun, and the heat hit me like a warm blanket. Rental car waiting. 45-minute drive down the coast to Playa del Carmen. The house was perfect. Emilio had arranged a deep clean, and the place sparkled. Fresh flowers on the kitchen counter with a note. "Merry Christmas, boss. You earned this." Emilio. I spent that first evening on the terrace, iced tea in hand, watching the sunset paint the Caribbean in shades of orange and gold. No family drama, no forced conversations, no watching Ricky smirk or Valeria do her passive-aggressive thing, or mom pretend everything was fine. Just peace. Christmas Eve, I woke up early and went for a swim. The pool temperature was perfect at 84 degrees. I floated on my back, staring at the sky, listening to waves crash against the rocks. Made myself chilaquiles for breakfast in the kitchen I'd designed. Sat at the custom dining table I'd gotten from a woodworker in Tulum. Read on the hammock strung between two palms at the edge of the property. After lunch, I took the kayak out, kept 2 of them in the beach shed, paddled down the coast for an hour, checking out coves I'd never bothered with before. Found a spot where the water was so clear you could see straight to the bottom, 30 feet down. Tropical fish everywhere. A sea turtle cruised past like it owned the place. Back at the house, I fired up the grill around 5. Hit the local fish market that morning and grabbed fresh mahi-mahi, some huge prawns, and scallops the size of hockey pucks. Ate on the terrace while the sun dropped into the ocean. Perfect. This was what I'd worked for. Not to impress anyone, not to prove anything. Just to have places like this where I could exist without drama or obligation. My phone rang around noon. Unknown number. I answered anyway. Holiday spirit or whatever. "Adrian?" Mom's voice, small and broken. "Yeah. Are you really there? At the house?" "I am." "Ocean's incredible today." Silence. "We're at a Courtyard Marriott. An hour from the beach. The room smells like cigarettes. Ricky's dad is having chest pains from stress. Valeria won't stop crying. Dad hasn't eaten in 2 days. That's unfortunate." "Unfortunate?" Her voice cracked. "This is the worst Christmas of our lives." "Interesting. Because last year when you forgot my birthday, you said you'd been busy. The year before when you missed my business launch, you said timing was bad. But now when your Christmas is ruined, suddenly it matters. That's not... We've always been there for you. You've never been there for me, Mom." Long silence. "Enjoy the Courtyard Marriott. Try the continental breakfast. I hear the waffle maker is decent." I hung up. Spent the rest of Christmas Eve snorkeling, reading, cooking an elaborate dinner for one. Ribeye on the grill I'd installed myself. Christmas morning, I got a text from Emilio. "Dude, your sister found my personal number somehow. Called me at 7 a.m. screaming about suing us, ruining our business, contacting tourism boards. I told her to pound sand and blocked her." I wrote back, "Sorry about that. She's spiraling. No worries. Also, FYI, she's posting about this on social media, calling you all kinds of names, painting herself as the victim. Let her. Anyone who knows the full story will see through it. Truth. Merry Christmas, man." I spent Christmas Day being gloriously selfish. Swam. Read 3 chapters of a book. Grilled fresh fish for lunch. Took a nap in the hammock. Made phone calls to friends back in the States. Around sunset, my phone rang again. Dad this time. "Your sister's marriage is falling apart." "Oh, wow. Okay." "Ricky's talking divorce. Says this whole situation proved she's unstable, manipulative. He's moving out when they get back to Denver." Shocking. "And you're telling me this why?" "Because you need to know what you've done." I sat up from the hammock. "Let's get something straight, Dad. I didn't treat family like garbage. That was all on them. You could have been the bigger person." "The bigger person?" "I spent 30 years being the bigger person. Taking the scraps. Accepting being overlooked and dismissed. Not anymore. If Valeria's marriage is collapsing, that's because it was built on dysfunction. I'm just the thing that exposed it. You're splitting up this family. This family split itself up the moment they decided I didn't matter. I'm just refusing to pretend anymore. Your mother is... My mother made her choice. You both did. You enabled Valeria's behavior for years. Well, congratulations. You got what you wanted. I'm staying out of the way. We never wanted this. Merry Christmas, Dad." I hung up. The rest of my Cancun week was incredible. I dove the reefs, explored ruins, ate at restaurants I'd been wanting to try, spent time with my own thoughts without the weight of family obligation crushing me. New Year's Eve, I stood on the beach in front of my house. Down the coast, resorts were setting off fireworks. I raised my drink to the ocean, to myself. My phone buzzed. Text from Valeria. "Happy New Year. Hope you're proud of yourself. You destroyed our family over pettiness." I typed back, "Happy New Year. Yes, I am very proud." Then I blocked that number. I flew back January 3rd. Landed in California and immediately dove back into work. Client meetings, portfolio reviews, property inspections, normal life. The family went radio silent. No calls, no texts, no emails. The group chat stayed quiet. Fine by me. 3 weeks later, Emilio called me laughing. "You're not going to believe this. Your sister's posting Yelp reviews of Casa del Mar, claiming we're scammers, that we stole from her family, that the property doesn't exist. Absolute unhinged stuff." I posted the full cancellation policy, showed her contract that clearly states owner occupancy rights, included the refund confirmation. Yelp flagged her reviews as fake and took them down. She's banned from reviewing now. I grinned. Beautiful. Also, Ricky's parents filed a complaint with the Better Business Bureau against the property, claiming fraud. What happened? BBB contacted us. We sent documentation. They closed the case immediately, labeled it as a personal dispute. The parents tried to appeal. BBB told them to pound sand. This keeps getting better. Oh, and one more thing. Your parents called trying to negotiate. Said if we let them book the house for Easter, they'd pay triple the normal rate. I told them the owner wasn't interested. Triple? Yeah, they're desperate. Apparently they promised Ricky's parents a makeup trip and need to deliver. Tell them we're booked solid through next year. Already did. That same week, I closed on the San Diego duplex. Spent a weekend down there meeting contractors, getting renovation quotes, mapping out the project. One unit needed a complete kitchen overhaul. The other just needed cosmetic updates. Numbers worked out to a solid return. Kept moving forward. Kept building. Didn't let their drama slow me down. Got a new client too. Hedge fund manager looking to diversify into real estate. Big portfolio, bigger ambitions. We spent 3 days going through properties across California. Guy ended up moving forward on 4 different investments. Commission alone covered my Cancun Christmas twice over. Life was good. Business was booming. The family situation hurt, sure, but it didn't break me. In early February, I got an email from Mom's actual account this time. Her writing style, not Valeria's. "Adrian, I don't know if you'll read this. I don't know if you'll care, but I need to try. Your father and I have been doing a lot of thinking about how we raised you kids, about how we failed you." It continued, about how they'd always seen Valeria as the one who needed more help, more grace, how they'd taken my independence and success for granted, how they'd assumed I didn't need them because I was doing fine on my own. "We were wrong," she wrote. "I'm sorry doesn't cover it, but I am. I'm so sorry." I read it 3 times. Felt something loosen in my chest. I didn't respond immediately. Let it sit for a week. Finally wrote back, "Thanks for saying that. I'm not ready to talk yet, but I appreciate the honesty." 3 days later, Dad sent his own email. Shorter, more direct. "Your mother's right. We spent years making excuses for Valeria because she struggled while you succeeded. Never occurred to us that success doesn't mean you don't need family, or that achievement doesn't mean you don't feel pain. I'm proud of you for standing your ground. Should have stood with you from the start, working on being better." I responded, "Talk soon. Maybe." In March, Emilio texted me a screenshot. A Venmo request from Valeria to my business account for $4,680. The note said, "Paying you back for the deposit. Not because I think I owe you, but because I can't stand owing you anything." I accepted it. Sent her $4,680 back with a note. "Keep it. Consider it a lesson fee." She didn't respond. April brought an unexpected call from Ricky. "Before you hang up," he said immediately, "I'm not calling to argue." "Then why are you calling?" "To apologize. For my part in this. For not questioning Valeria when she suggested the whole thing. For joining in on the pile-on afterward. Okay, we're getting divorced. Should have happened years ago, honestly. This whole situation just highlighted problems that were always there. The house really is beautiful, by the way. I looked it up after everything went down. You built something special. Sorry we tried to take it without giving you the respect you deserved. Thanks, Ricky. Good luck with everything." He hung up. First genuine apology I'd gotten from anyone. May. I got a letter in the mail. Actual paper letter. From Valeria. It was short. "Adrian, I spent 4 months in anger and denial, blaming you for everything. Then my marriage ended. My friends started asking hard questions. My job performance tanked because I couldn't focus. And I finally had to face the truth. I was the problem. Not you. I excluded you from Christmas because I was jealous. I used Mom and Dad's enabling to justify it. I used the house capacity as an excuse. But the real reason was, I couldn't stand being around you during the holidays, being reminded of my failures. That's not your fault. That's my damage. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know I finally understand what I did. And I'm sorry. I kept the letter. Didn't respond. August rolled around and I found myself in a good place. Business was booming. Properties were performing well. Life felt solid. The San Diego duplex was done. Both units rented within a week of listing. Cash flow looked excellent. The new hedge fund client had expanded his portfolio to 7 properties. My firm had grown by 40% since the start of the year. Hired 2 new analysts to handle the workload. Bought another property in Phoenix. Industrial complex that needed updating, but had massive potential. Spent a week out there meeting with contractors, city planners, getting permits lined up. Project would take 6 months, but the numbers were solid. Emilio and I grabbed lunch at our usual spot. So Casa del Mar is doing incredible, he said between bites. Booked solid through next spring. 5-star reviews across the board. Revenue's up 40% from last year. Good to hear. Also, funny story. Got an inquiry last week for Christmas week this year. 8 people, family gathering. I looked up. And? Turned them down. Told them owner occupancy. Was it my family? No. Different people. But after last year's drama, figured you'd want it blocked off. Was I right? I thought about it. About sitting alone on Christmas. About the peace and quiet. About proving a point. Actually, no. Open it up. Take bookings. Emilio raised an eyebrow. You sure? Thought you'd want to go back. I proved what I needed to prove. I'm not going to let their actions control my decisions forever. That's just giving them power they don't deserve. Fair. So, you're not going for Christmas? Didn't say that. I'm going. But I'm bringing people who actually appreciate me. 2 weeks later, I called Mom. Question for you. Okay? I need to know if you learned anything from last year. Silence. I think we did, she said carefully. We've been working on ourselves. Going to family counseling. Good. Why are you asking? Because I'm going to Cancun for Christmas. Taking the house for the week. And I'm inviting people who've earned it. You and Dad are on the list if you want in. But it comes with conditions. What conditions? Valeria's not invited. Ricky's not involved, obviously, since they're divorced. It's just you, Dad, me, and a few friends. You pay your own travel. You stay in the guest wing, not the master. And if at any point you make excuses for Valeria's behavior or try to pressure me into forgiving her before I'm ready, you're out. More silence. We'd like that, she finally said. Very much. And we'll respect your boundaries. Good. You're invited. I'll send details next month. I hung up feeling lighter than I had in months. September, Emilio and I were finalizing Christmas plans. So your parents, you, me, and who else? He asked. Thinking about inviting the Cardenas. You know, my clients who bought that condo in San Diego based on my advice. Made them a fortune. They're good people. Solid choice. October, I sent the official invitations. Mom and Dad confirmed immediately. The Cardenas responded within hours. Emilio's gym friends sent back a message that was basically just excited screaming. Everyone paid their own way. Everyone expressed genuine gratitude. Everyone understood this wasn't charity. It was inclusion based on mutual respect. The week before Thanksgiving, I got a text from Valeria. Heard you're doing Christmas in Cancun again. Mom told me I'm not invited. I understand why. For what it's worth, I hope you have an amazing time. You deserve it. Short. No manipulation, no guilt trip. Progress for her, maybe. I wrote back. Thanks. Maybe next year if things change. Intentionally leaving the door cracked, not open. December 20th, we all flew out. Mom and Dad, Emilio, the Cardenas, the gym couple, and their baby. The house was perfect. Better than last year because it wasn't weighed down by anger and pain. Christmas Eve, we all gathered on the terrace for dinner. I'd cooked. My specialty grilled seafood spread. Everyone contributed something. Stories, laughter, genuine connection. The Cardenas brought sparkling cider they'd been saving for a special occasion. Emilio's gym friends had somehow packed homemade cookies in their luggage without destroying them. Mom made her famous potato salad. We ate as the sun set. Nobody checked their phones. Nobody made excuses to leave early. Just people genuinely enjoying each other's company. This was what family was supposed to feel like. Dad pulled me aside while everyone else was inside getting dessert. This is incredible, he said. You really built something special here. Thanks, Dad. I'm sorry it took losing you last year for us to see what we had, what we were risking. I'm not lost, Dad. I'm right here. I know, but we almost lost you. You did lose me. The version of me that accepted being treated as less than. That guy's gone. But maybe that's not a bad thing. He nodded slowly. You're right. The man standing here now, confident, boundaried, clear about your worth, this is who you always should have been. We held you back by making you small, so Valeria could feel big. Yeah, you did. Won't happen again. I know. We stood there watching the ocean, the sound of laughter drifting from inside. The rest of the week was perfect. New Year's Eve, I stood on the same beach as last year. Same spot. Different energy. The fireworks started down the coast. Everyone gathered on the beach. Emilio raised his cold drink. To Adrian, for building paradise and sharing it with people who appreciate him. Mom hugged me from the side. I'm proud of you. Dad joined us. Here's to second chances. We all toasted as the fireworks exploded overhead. Last year, I'd set fire to family dynamics. Refused to participate in my own diminishment. And you know what? Best decision I ever made. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Because now I'm living proof that standing your ground will always pay off. Heck of a view from up here. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel and help us bring you more and better stories. Thanks.